All right, so howdy, and thank you for joining us today as we learn more about why you should consider going abroad on transfer credit program. My name is Jessica Mito, and I'm an education abroad advisor here in the office that primarily works with programs that focus on transfer credit. Later on in the session, we will hear from some alumni ambassadors about their experience on transfer credit programs, so that's definitely something to look forward to. And just as a caveat to throw out there, the session is a little bit more geared towards students who are just starting out looking at programs rather than students that have already started an application for a provider program, for example. If you have already started an application, it's definitely great information in this session, but just wanted to throw out there that it is really more geared towards students who are just starting off. Okay. So program types. Below is a list of various program types Education Abroad offers. Programs that are involved that involve transfer credit include affiliate providers, exchanges, independent travel, and virtual opportunities. Faculty-led field trips and student groups are for A&M credit or no credit and involve traveling with a group of Aggies. It's important to note that not one program type is inherently better than another. Finding the right program depends on many personal factors, but the reason why we are having this session focusing on those transfer credit opportunities is that faculty-led programs, field trips, those are, a lot more prevalent here at A&M. Lots of students have heard about them. A lot of students go on these programs. They're primarily offered during the summer, but we really want to promote transfer credit to students as another option, just because, as we are going to discuss throughout this presentation, there are many benefits to going on a transfer credit program. Again, these other program types are wonderful and are work for certain students, but there are other programs out there that might be better for you to look at or might have more opportunities for you. So we're just trying to expand our students' knowledge of what is available for them when they want to go abroad. So today's session is going to primarily focus on affiliate providers and exchanges, but I do want to touch point just a little bit on independent travel and virtual. So going more in depth and about what an affiliate provider is, but right now there are specific providers that partner with Education Abroad. However, there are many other providers out there that offer great opportunities to students. We just can't partner with every single one of them. So if a student happens to find an opportunity with a different provider, they would still have to register with us through an independent travel application. Due to COVID-19 travel restrictions, a lot of providers are offering online courses or online internships. So, again, if you partake in an opportunity like that, you still need to register with us through the virtual. But moving forward, before I dive into affiliate providers and exchanges, I do just want to talk about what you should consider. So what does your experience abroad look like? Factors that you need to take into consideration are what courses are being offered, what is your financial situation, what's your identity, program length, location, etc. What are your feelings on all of these to help you narrow down opportunities? And a lot of them interconnect with one another when you're looking at programs. So what do I mean by courses? So when it comes to courses, you definitely need to talk to your academic advisor early on. When you want to study abroad, even if you're a freshman, you're probably not thinking of going until junior year, let your academic advisor know so that they can look at your degree plan, tell you what's open. They can tell you what classes you cannot take abroad. If there's a particular term that might work better for you, your academic advisor knows this information or is definitely better able to give you that information, as Education Abroad does not work with degree plans. So make sure you're having conversations with them about what courses are open for you. Finances, what's your personal financial situation? Can you go abroad without financial aid or scholarships, or is that something that you definitely need? Can you start saving early? If there are any family members that are going to be able to help you, can they start saving early? Do you have time for a part-time job to start saving? Identity, what is your personal identity and how will that maybe play into where you might go? So If you are of ethnic background, we have some students that are of Asian descent that they really want to, they have family in maybe, for example, South Korea, so they really want to do a program in South Korea to feel a little bit closer to their roots. Or we have LGBTQ students. There are some locations around the world where it is not necessarily as safe to be out. So being mindful of what location you're looking at, depending upon your personal identity, and if that's a safe place for you. And if not, how can we help you navigate that? Same thing for students that might have various disabilities. So if you need academic accommodations, if you have service animal, if you have, physical restrictions, making sure you're being mindful of the locations that you're looking at. Program length, are you comfortable being abroad for, shorter terms or longer terms? And then location. Don't just think about, the general region of the world or specific country, but are you also interested in a program that's in the city or in a smaller town? So all of these things, it's a lot to consider, but it's definitely something to start thinking about as you're looking at programs so that you can identify, because of these factors, looking at this program, this isn't the program for me, let's move on to the next program. So it's a lot, but we are definitely here to help you navigate all this as well. So affiliate providers. Affiliate providers are organizations that focus on building partnerships to offer study, intern, and volunteer opportunities. Affiliate providers are providers that we have a specific agreement with here at Education Abroad. So these are the logos for our providers that we work with. You'll be able to find some of their programs in our portal, as well as searching on their website too for more information. So these types of programs are ideal for students that need flexibility in their course options and time abroad. They have, many courses to choose from, different lengths of terms of programs. It's also valuable for personalized and robust support services. So these providers, they provide assistance during the application process, when you're on site, when you get back. So there's definitely a lot of support involved in these, as well as if you're looking at wanting to build a close relationship with students in this cohort. So provider programs, it's students from all over the US that are applying to these programs. So it's not something that you're going to do by yourself. And then exchange programs are universities that either Education Abroad or a college at A&M has a particular partnership with, where we are sending them A&M students and they are sending us their students. There are two types of these. So there are all major exchanges that are open to any student at A&M's campus that, obviously if that location and that university fits your needs. But then there are also college level exchanges that are geared specifically towards those students that are in there. So for example, on this one, the Econ Exchange, it's only students that are in economics can go on that particular exchange. It requires a 3.0 TAMU GPA. And then for exchange programs, you're paying Texas A&M tuition. For provider programs, there are various GPA requirements and you're not paying A&M tuition. It's part of the program fee with the affiliate provider. So a little bit more information in comparing these two, the application process between them. For affiliate providers, it's a dual application process. Not only do you have to apply with the provider because it is their program, but you also have to apply with Education Abroad. For exchanges, you start off applying with Education Abroad. If you are selected, then you will be nominated to the host university, and that host university will reach out with additional application items. Thing with exchanges is that they can be more selective, just because there are a lot of times there's only so many spots available to exchange students, whereas provider programs, as long as you're in good standing, meeting the basic requirements, doing things in a timely manner, they have a lot more flexibility in the amount of students that can go on a provider program. When it comes to classes and who the professor is, affiliate providers taking classes at the host university, so the faculty members there. There are some providers that have a center where students are just taking classes there at that particular building, so they might bring in local faculty members or faculty members that they always have on site. Exchange students are taking classes again with the host university. Both of these, of course, the whole reason why we're here is transfer credit. So transfer credit means that that credit comes back to A&M as pass-fail. It does not count towards your TAMU GPA. Students who you're taking classes with, affiliate providers, like I mentioned, it's students from all over the US going on these programs will be in your class, as well as local students. And then exchange, it's very similar. It's other fellow students that are on exchanges from all over the world, and then students from that local university. Duration, affiliate providers are the most flexible with durations. You have pretty much all year could potentially go. Obviously some terms like winter term there are far less opportunities during the winter, but summer, semester, academic year, summer you have various lengths of time, from a couple of weeks to 2 months over the summer. So there's definitely a lot of options there. And then exchanges are semester or academic year. Benefits. So there are a wide variety of courses, locations, and durations as we've discussed in all of these. So we know that Aggies love to travel together, but we really see the value in going on one of these programs, program types, just because you have the opportunity to grow, you have the opportunity to meet new people outside of Aggie land. If you are really interested still in traveling with fellow Aggies and you have other friends that want to study abroad, going on one of these opportunities, especially a provider, because it doesn't have as many, spot limitations as exchanges might, this is a great option to to see if other friends can go on them because they have so many courses that are available. So if you happen to be in one major and your friend is in another major, going on a faculty-led program isn't really going to work. However, you might be able to find a program together because there are so many courses that are available on transfer credit programs that you can find the same program where you could both go there. With courses, looking at your major, your minor, your electives, anything that's open in your degree plan, as long as you've talked to your academic advisor about, if there are restrictions on courses you cannot take, whatever's open, and if you can find it on that program, look into that. Taking unique classes about ecology of the area that you're in, or the history of where you are, or cultural information. So it's just a great opportunity to be more involved with the community that you're in. And then it's not just study. So these opportunities also include intern volunteering or service learning. And a lot of providers also offer, especially on semesters, an option to do both. So you might be able to study and intern at the same time. They're also really great in the on-site staff being able to, find additional opportunities. So maybe you are just there to study, but you would really like to volunteer somehow with the community. We had a student in the past that indicated that she really wanted to get involved, particularly with animals. So the on-site staff was able to get her connected to a dog shelter where she could volunteer with them. So there's just additional time and opportunities for students on these programs. I kind of hinted this a little bit, but provider and exchange programs are definitely more independent in nature than other program types. This makes them ideal for students who are already feel more independent or are looking to branch out of their comfort zone and develop interpersonal and problem-solving skills. That's not to say other program types, students don't experience this, but because you're not necessarily in a condensed group of Aggies and only doing things with your Aggies, these opportunities are great in fostering different relationships and making global connections with local faculty, with local students, with the students from the US, and just having different partnerships there. Let's see here, non-traditional locations. So what I mean by this is basically anything that is not in Western European. So a lot of students, that's still the primary, France, Germany, England, Italy are definitely, top countries for study abroad. And not that there's anything bad with that, but we definitely encourage students to branch out and look at different locations of the world. Sometimes this is actually cheaper to go to a different country. I know it's still in Europe, but even going to the Czech Republic is less expensive. So if you're worried about costs, again, branching out of those big countries that are more, the cost of living is just more expensive there. So being mindful of that. Also, just being mindful that you might have a particular location in mind of where you want to go, but if you're not finding the opportunity that fits you academically and works best for you, being open to different locations. Also, for non-traditional locations, this is a prime time because you're going to have so much extra support rather than traveling there by yourself. This is a great opportunity to use that support so that you have more of a comfort zone there. You have additional students there. You have the on-site staff there to help you navigate this new experience. And it also might be something where, I've had a student in the past that she was honestly looking at England and she was looking at Thailand. Both of them were really great opportunities. I told her, whatever you end up choosing, it's ultimately up to you in your comfort zone. But if you're really interested in going to Thailand, maybe go to Thailand because you have that extra support. Whereas, you can go to England again and feel a little bit more comfortable navigating England by yourself rather than maybe navigating Thailand by yourself in the future. So it's just weighing those options. Summer versus semester, determining what time of the year is best for you. We know a lot of Aggies don't want to miss out on all of our great traditions here on campus during the semester, so going over the summer, but realizing that summer opportunities, while there are definitely still so many locations you can choose from, so many courses you can choose from, just like here at A&M, not every class is offered during the summer. So it does limit it just a little bit versus a semester, you're gonna have so many more options to choose from. Also, sometimes semester is more bang for your buck. While the grand total might be more expensive than a summer program, if you break it down week by week, a lot of times semesters are kind of cheaper when you look at it that way. Also, going on a semester program just allows you to connect more with your surroundings and integrate more into the local community. I do also want to bring up that some students, maybe you're not comfortable going on a semester program right now, and that is completely okay. You want to dip your toes in, go on a summer program, and then, fall in love with education abroad and realize you want to go for a full semester. We've had students go multiple times. We've had students that are abroad for a semester write us and say, I'm loving it and I want to stay here. So we work with them and how to get them to be able to stay for an additional semester, working with their provider or with their host university. Some students might start off doing a summer internship and then do a semester later on. So there are many ways that you can kind of stagger these opportunities. But again, definitely pointing out that semester, highly encouraging students to look at a full semester. And for out-of-state students, don't know if anybody here is out of state, but this is definitely potentially cheaper for you, especially for a semester program, just because of how expensive out-of-state tuition can be. If you're going on a provider program for a semester, you might be spending, this same amount of money, but you're abroad versus still in College Station, or it could potentially be cheaper because you're not paying that A&M tuition on a provider program. Remember, exchange programs, you do still pay your normal tuition and fees. And then on-site support. So for both providers and exchange programs, you're going to have additional staff besides just here in education abroad that are there to help you navigate once you're on site. And then also even before that, really, they're helping prepare you to go on site. So letting you know this is the visa you need to apply for. Here's some additional documentation you might need for that visa application. Here's a checklist before you depart. What's the on-site? Once you're on site, having an orientation. They might do airport pickups. They're going to potentially have cultural activities or excursions for the group to be involved in. Insurance is usually included in this. Exchanges has a particular one, the application process. So there's just a lot of support and a lot of great benefits for going on these programs. All right, so how does it all work? So I know I've given you a lot to think about, but once you do kind of start researching programs, and I will show you, we'll go to the website here in a little bit to actually show you how to find these opportunities. But again, kind of walking through the whole process, searching through programs, making sure you're talking to your academic advisor early, looking for those programs, taking all those things into considerations, the courses, cost, duration, location, all of that. Once you find that program, applying with Education Abroad, doing the pre-approval form, which we'll talk about, and then, once you've gone through our application, making sure you're either doing the provider application or if you're selected for exchange, the host one. Pre-departure, you'll enroll in a placeholder course. It lets the university know that you are still an A&M student. It's just that you're abroad for that term. So that being enrolled in that still allows you to have access to financial aid or scholarships that you normally receive. And then once you're abroad, you're having hopefully an amazing time connecting with the fellow students there, with the culture, with the country, but definitely always feel free to reach out to us if you're having any issues while you're abroad. And then on your return, it's, talking about your experience, getting involved with Education Abroad if you want to, either by being an alumni ambassador or, maybe potentially working with our incoming exchange students. Even if you didn't go on an exchange, could potentially be a buddy to incoming international students, just to kind of stay connected, share your experience. And then also your transcripts. Obviously that's a big thing. So it does take 1 to 4 months to process a transcript. So we do not encourage students to go abroad their last term or their last semester, just because this process does take a little bit. So part of the Education Abroad application is a pre-approval form. So obviously, having conversation with your academic advisor early on just to see what's open in your degree plan is necessary. But once you actually start the application, you will have this form where you list out the classes that you are interested in taking, and you actually get those signed off on in advance so that you know that this program has enough courses that fit your degree plan to continue moving forward with. So the academic advisor will let you know what it's supposed to come back as. You can have conversations with them to understand anything that might be a little confusing. And then, you go abroad and that how these classes that you end up taking will come back here. If for some reason, it's not fitting the way that you're thinking, and your advisor comes back and says, these classes, there's either not enough of them they can sign off on, go back to the program, find some additional courses, or you might unfortunately need to look at a new program. I do also highly encourage students, when you're looking at programs on the course catalog, sometimes it's not the same structure here as A&M as, okay, this class is under this category. You might have to look at different disciplines. So this example might sound a little weird, but I've had a student where she needed to take business finance, but she wasn't finding it under the business class, or she wasn't finding it under finance, whichever way it was. So I was just like, okay, well, let's go back and look under this location, or it might be a little less obvious than that. So sometimes it's doing a little bit more investigative work to see where the course might be at in that particular university's catalog, but with the realization that your advisor can still decide if it falls under, what the normal category would be here at A&M. Funding, because I know a lot of students are worried about this, especially for transfer credit programs, and if their scholarships and financial aid will still, be able to be used. And I'm here to tell you they can be. So if you're already receiving scholarships and financial aid, you can use those for these transfer credit programs. Because exchange programs are charged normal tuition and fees, your scholarships and financial aid will come through on Howdy like it normally does and take care of anything there that's in your account. For provider programs, you would talk to your provider and let them know that you have scholarships on financial aid that you want to use to help pay for the program. And they'll set up a different payment schedule for you so that once those funds are released to you, you have, you can then use those funds to pay the provider. Prepaid tuition plans, so TGTP, TTPF, and a 529 plan. If you happen to have those can still be used. Again, exchange, go on your account like normal. For provider programs, you would need to reach out to our office and we'll tell you that process because it's a little bit more involved, but you can still access those funds. Providers happen to have additional scholarships. So not only can students apply for scholarships at A&M and any outside scholarships, but providers will have additional ones. So that's a great benefit on going on a provider program too. And then veterans benefits can also be used, not as much on provider programs because the tuition the charge has to be originating from a US institution. So if you're looking at a provider program and you have veterans benefits, definitely talk to us beforehand so that we can explain that to you because you might need to look at a different program type. Okay, so I'm going to jump out of my presentation for a second and go to our website. Just to show you where you can find all this information. Because I know, again, I've shared a lot of information for you. So now you're probably wondering, okay, well, now where do I find the programs, Jessica? So starting off, I do just want to say our FAIR website has a lot of great resources. So you can here learn more about them just because there are some providers that are, did share, okay. Everyone's seeing my screen, correct? Yes, okay, sorry. So you can click in here, get a little bit more information about them. They have some additional resources in here for students, contact information. So this is just learning a little bit more about them, just because there are some providers that are very big and have lots of different opportunities, and then there are some that are very niche. Just learning from them. So example, like Kugelcon is a very niche program. They only do Spanish language. And then we also have some featured programs broken down by college. So in here, we have some summer opportunities and semester opportunities. This is definitely not exhaustive of all the opportunities that are out there. This is just kind of a quick snapshot to students to just get you started in seeing what's available. So in order to get more information about these program types, you go to Start Here and then Understanding Program Types for exchanges. This will give you some more information as well as our all major exchanges and links directly to their brochures. And same thing for the college and departmental exchanges. Again, links directly to their brochures, and underneath of it, it just kind of breaks down the application process, the pre-approval form that I showed you, and some additional information. Let's see here. Same thing with affiliate providers. I know the FAIR had resources on it as well, but this will take you directly to their website, so you can search on them, and again, walks you through application process and all that information. How to search for programs in our portal, you'd go to Start Here again, find a program, and then you can search within here. So I don't necessarily recommend doing program name unless you know the specific program name. It doesn't always work. So I usually recommend that students, you just determine, what time you're interested in going abroad. If you're looking at summer, clicking on all the summers. if you know what opportunity you want to have, you can click in here or just leave it blank. I'm going to leave it blank for now because I'm going to show you how to distinguish things. And then if you want to look by academic area. So caveat, I will say that it's not perfect. The portal is not perfect. We're working on it. But so you might have to come in and come back and forth with this and play around with some of the academic areas to see what's available. That some things might come up differently as you tinker with the items you select. But we're just gonna pick this for now. There we go. Okay. So once you're in here, this will list out summer programs for business. Keeping it very vague right now. So you'll see at the top, starred programs, there are some exchange, all major exchanges. There are some business only exchanges. And then there are some faculty-led programs. So it usually exchanges will specify what type of exchange, faculty-led will be on here. We scroll down, anything that is not starred is an affiliate provider program. So we're just going to click on one. Once you're here, this is just kind of, very, very basic information. And then our application, once you know if this is the program you want to apply for, you will apply with us on here. To get in-depth information on this program, you'll want to go to homepage, and it'll take you to that program's website on the provider's page. So you'll get a lot more, the overview. You can look at, what courses are available, get more information here. What's the date of the program? They have various options for summer. What are the fees? Breaking it down from there. If you're here and you're like, this is an amazing program, but I'm still interested in to see what else is out there, or you're like, nope, this program does not have what I need, I encourage you to potentially just stay on a provider's website and use theirs. Let's see here. Here we go. Everybody's provider website is a little different, so you might have to play around, but to just search on their website to see what comes up for you. So that is how to navigate our website and the portal. We did just update it, so if you've searched before on our website, things have definitely changed. So definitely, take the time to look at that. And then I'm gonna go back, to my presentation. All right, so now I'm gonna switch it over to our student panel. These are some questions that they're gonna answer. But before I do that, again, I recognize that this was a lot of information, so I encourage you to reflect on everything you've heard today, and definitely spend time researching, looking at different programs. And if you ever have any questions about a program or what to do next, definitely feel free to email us at tcabroad@tamu.edu, or feel free to schedule an appointment with an education abroad advisor that works with provider programs or exchange programs. All right, so handing it over, we're going to hear from Madison about her experience.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Madison Breeding, and I am a senior international studies major with a Spanish minor. And I am the AIFS abroad ambassador here at Texas A&M. And I studied abroad with them last spring, 2020, in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And like it says on my little card there, I was sent home early after about 6 weeks, but I still got to complete all of my classes online. And so one of the main reasons that I wanted to choose a provider program is because I'm an international studies major, and a large part of my major is studying abroad for at least 10 weeks in an area that is my expertise. And so I felt like provider programs would give me the best opportunity to do that and to be able to graduate on time and still fulfill classes for my major. And I feel like one of the most rewarding parts of this were all of the different people I got to meet, because unlike a faculty-led one where you're just going abroad with other Aggies, I met people from all over the US, from all over Europe, and locals in Argentina as well. So I had the opportunity to really collaborate with some people that I really never would have met in a traditional college experience. And it was challenging, though. I will say the application process does take a lot of time, because you do have to apply through your provider and through A&M. So you need to be really, really diligent in that and make sure that you're getting that done, because it is like self-paced. You can't expect AFS or whoever you're going along with to fill that out for you. So you need to make sure that you're choosing the right program for you and filling your stuff out on time. And then something that I wish I had done differently, especially because of COVID, was just taking advantage of all of the experiences that I had. Provider programs usually do have some sort of excursions or maybe like a cooking class or like a dance class, something cultural. I mean, I know AFS provides for a lot of that with your all included tuition fee. And I was there for about 6 weeks and I was like, oh, I'm going to take it slow. And then, I got sent back. So, I would say like while you're abroad, every opportunity you have to go do something and to immerse yourself in the culture, and that you should take advantage of that. And then a piece of advice that I would give about somebody that's like about to participate on an abroad program is to be open. Don't say no. And again, like I learned, time is very, very precious, and you never know when it's going to get taken away from you. And so, even if you're a little bit shy, say yes to going to that museum with some people while you're there, or say yes to exploring a new neighborhood while abroad, because yes, academics are important, but a huge part about why you're studying abroad is to learn about a new culture, it's new things, and connect with people that you wouldn't have met before. So I feel like you always need to say yes, unless it's a really bad situation, then say no. But yeah, if you have any questions about AFS, you can message me on here. But yeah, I'd love to talk to you more about it.
Thank you, Madison. Next, we're going to hear from Samantha.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Sam, and I'm actually currently serving as Senior Ambassador for Education Abroad. And I got that position because I was able to go abroad my summer of my freshman year to 6 weeks to New Zealand. And one of the reasons I chose to go through an affiliate provider, I went through USAC, was because of how customizable it is. I think Jessica mentioned that earlier. It was exactly what I wanted. The first 2 weeks, I got to travel across both islands, meeting with different companies to discuss their communication tactics, because that's my major. I'm a comm major. And the next 4 weeks, I was actually able to secure an internship. So it was perfectly exactly what I wanted. A lot of times when people think of study abroad, they think of going to a city, staying there for maybe a semester, and then out on weekends, maybe going to a couple of excursions. But I really wanted to get the chance to just travel everywhere I could. And that was why this one was so perfect for me. One piece of advice I have, I'm kind of skipping around here, but one piece of advice I have is definitely apply early, because a lot of the scholarship deadlines will sneak up on you, and you really do want to research all of your opportunities. Through affiliate providers, there's so many different ones to go on, so many different classes to take. So I definitely recommend, if you're at all interested, just start researching now. And it's a lot of fun because you get to see the possible opportunities that you have in front of you as a student here at A&M. Another thing that was really cool about going through an affiliate provider, I was the only one from Texas on my trip. So that means I was the only one from A&M, which I liked because I then got to make connections, not just in New Zealand, but also in the US. So if I go to a different state that one of the people on my trip was in, I know immediately I have somewhere to stay. I have somewhere to someone to show me around, a local in the area. And that can also prove useful for any connections that I need in business or anything like that as well. And also, I don't know if Jessica touched on this, but I did actually help create a transfer credit database, and you can find that on our website. I think it's under affiliate providers. Right now, it only has previously approved affiliate provider credits, but I am working on adding all of the exchanges as well by the end of this semester. So that's a good way, if you go on our website and look at that, that's a good way to really get inspired and see what some classes other people got approved to take. And what they got transferred in for A&M. So an example of that is, I know there's one class called Basic Oil Painting in Florence, Italy, that you can get an arts credit for, or French wine tasting in Paris that you can get a credit for your major. So those are some opportunities that you're just really not going to get unless you go on one of these study abroads. And I highly recommend you look into it because it is once in a lifetime. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And that is a great resource that she created. So thank you for mentioning that. So it is on the affiliate provider page that I showed. So definitely look at that to kind of get an idea. It's not a guarantee that those courses are going to transfer back exactly like that, because obviously it depends on your degree plan. But it is, again, a great start for students to see what others have done in the past and how it's transferred back for them. All right, and we're going to hear from our last student, Ava. Take it away.
Hi, y'all. Yeah, so not this past fall, but the fall before, fall 2019, went to study for 5.5 months in Quito, Ecuador. I studied at a university there and got to travel a lot on the weekends. My program is a little bit different. I did not go through an affiliate provider. Mine is a direct exchange. Specifically, it's called a reciprocal exchange program. There's another E in there, but I forget what it stands for. So it's a REAP. And what that means is I go to Ecuador and study, and then at some point in time, a student from the university I was at comes here to study. So it's what most people think of when they think of an exchange program. And so, yeah, I loved Ecuador and loved getting to spend time with my host family. I think that was probably my favorite part of my whole experience. We still chat on WhatsApp all the time, and they're kind of like my second parents. So I think, like Sam was saying, you build connections, like not just within that country. Like obviously I could go back and stay with my host parents, but also I just met up with some friends that I studied abroad with in Asheville. We just went and got together because we can, and we had fun. And so you really do meet people that change your life and become some of your best friends. Things I would have done differently, I don't know, because we had 3 days off on the weekends. They only have class Monday through Thursday. So pretty much every single weekend I was doing something new. So my advice to anyone would be take advantage of every single thing you can do. I got to go to the Galapagos. I got to go to Peru and see Machu Picchu. I got to go to Colombia, like just all these different experiences packed into 5.5 months that I probably won't do again in the very near future. So just take advantage of whatever opportunity presents itself.
Thank you. All right, and that concludes our presentation. So we'll leave it the next few minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourself. Also, this Texas Ag link, I highly encourage everybody to go to that either now or save it for the future so that you can get our newsletter that's tailored to experiences that you are interested in. So again, if anybody has any questions, here, let me check the chat. Okay. And if you don't feel like talking right now, or you think of something in the future, again, feel free to reach us at tcabroad@tamu.edu. All right. Well, in that case, if there aren't any questions, we'll go ahead. Oh, there might be one. Hold on. All right, so would you say it is harder to obtain a graduate level abroad program? There are definitely still graduate level programs out there. As I was creating resources for the fair, I did stumble across a couple of them. So they are available. It's definitely talking to your advisor to know if sometimes graduate level courses or graduate programs accept undergraduate courses. So seeing if that is something that your program will allow and what that would look like. There are definitely still opportunities out there. I would also consider looking at exchanges and talking to like the college level exchange to see if there are specific ones for your college. but they are available. You could also look at doing a direct enroll. So it might not be something through a provider or through an exchange. This would be that independent travel experience if you were with us at the beginning of the presentation, or if you find an opportunity that you can enroll in it, you would just do the independent travel transfer credit application and have to direct enroll with that university. If you have any questions though, I recommend scheduling an appointment, doing a little research, but then scheduling an appointment with us or shooting us an email. Anything else? Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great day. Bye.